My beloved, do you think it's an accident that you are hearing my voice right now? No. Heaven planned this moment long before you took your first breath. This is one of the divine laws of the universe. Yes, this is the law of attraction. I was sent to remind you, nothing in your life happens by chance. Every step, every turn, every closed door, and every open one has led you here, to this exact moment. Before I reveal what heaven wants you to know, take a moment to like this video so this word can reach those who are searching for light. And then, receive this message with love. Type in the comments, I receive and accept it with love, and seal it with 222. This is not just a gesture, it is a spiritual alignment. It keeps the divine law of giving and receiving in perfect balance. Heaven is watching who responds. You'll notice a super thanks button right below this video. And listen carefully, when you give $22 or more, you are not simply supporting a channel. You are planting a heavenly seed in the soil of your own future. Just as a farmer never plants without expecting a harvest, your gift will return to you multiplied. Archangel Michael declares, every divine seed will bear divine fruit. When you give, you're saying, God, I trust you. I believe your promises. I'm ready for the blessing you've prepared for me. And let me tell you, heaven remembers those moments of faith. Your name is written in the book of remembrance, and the harvest is already on its way. Now, step with me into the message heaven has been waiting to release into your life. They were able to catch a peek of your spiritual might, and it completely disproved every notion they had previously held about the limits of human capability. What you thought was a normal reaction to the pressure was, in reality, the raw power of the divine streaming through you like lightning through a conduit. The force that you were channeling caused your spiritual muscles to contract without your conscious awareness, and reality itself reconfigured itself to fit the force. The observers did not merely observe an exceptionally strange occurrence. Without a shadow of a doubt, they came across evidence that demonstrates that you operate from a completely different realm of existence. Picked out one. During the time that you were simply dealing with the challenges that life presented to you, they observed the impossible being bent to your will as if the rules of physics were merely suggestions in your presence. As they observed spiritual power so powerful that it makes the material universe appear as if it were clay in the hands of a skilled sculptor, their comfy worldview disintegrated in real time. The moment is now permanently etched into their minds, playing over and over again like a film reel that they are unable to turn off. They have been left torn between sanity and revelation as a result of what they have observed. Those with reasonable minds are screaming that what they witnessed violates every natural rule that they have been instructed to believe in. In spite of this, their soul acknowledges something fundamental and indisputable. Your inner self possesses a power that is not limited to the sphere of the physical. Being chosen comes with both a challenge and a blessing in this regard. The spiritual musculature that you possess has developed to such a degree that even the motions that you perform without conscious awareness ripple through the very fabric of existence itself. There has always been a sense of the supernatural running through your blood. In recent times, however, it has begun exhibiting manifestations that ordinary people are unable to ignore or rationalize away. You have achieved a stage of spiritual progress in which your inner strength is leaking out into the material world, and those around you are having a difficult time processing what their limited awareness has caught glimpses of. As a result of your presence, the barrier that separates worlds begins to crumble, and regular people find themselves inadvertently peeking through it, so gaining a glimpse of the heavenly mechanisms that regulate your life. Take a time to reflect on the moment when everything was different. That surge of energy that appeared to originate from a source that was beyond your conscious control. The frequencies of the cosmos were integrated into your cells. Your breath started to align with the rhythms of the universe. Moreover, for a single transcendent instant, you became a conduit for energies that the vast majority of people never come into contact with in their whole lives. The spectators who were present in that area witnessed the accomplishment of the impossible through your presence. The consequences of what they have witnessed are now left up to them to consider and work through. Their hands are shaking, but it is not because they are afraid of you personally. The fundamental fear that arises from having their entire perspective on the world broken in a single instant is what constitutes this fear. They believed that they had a perfect understanding of the limits of reality. The boundaries that define what is possible and what is not possible, as well as the limitations of human capability. You then proceeded to enter their meticulously crafted environment and provide evidence that such restrictions are nothing more than suggestions to someone who operates from the same degree of spiritual authority as you. It is not by pomp or theatrical flourishes that your strength is announced to the populace. It moves in a manner that is unavoidable, patient, and completely transforming, much like water discovering its way through rock. Even though others are struggling against challenges, it appears like you are able to overcome them simply by being present. The dangers that were in your immediate vicinity simply vanish while others are engaged in combat. You are the embodiment of power, and although others seek it, you are so naturally endowed with it that even you might not fully realize the energies that you wield. The people who witnessed the miraculous moment that you experienced are currently caught up in a psychological whirlwind. A portion of them has the need to reason away what they have experienced in order to discover sensible explanations that will enable them to sleep through the night once more. They are aware that they have come into contact with something that is truly otherworldly because the more profound part of their consciousness, the part that remembers old truths, is aware of this. A chosen one has been observed in action by them. When people are confronted with such a discovery, they undergo a sea change. A few of them have completely distanced themselves from you, not because they are malicious, but because they are just overwhelmed. When it comes to processing what they have seen, they require some distance. They needed some time to reconcile this new information with what they believed they understood about the world around them. The retreats that you are participating in are not a form of rejection. They are recognitions of the strength that you possess. They are aware that spending an excessive amount of time in close proximity to your frequency has the potential to radically affect their own existence, and they are uncertain whether or not they are prepared for such a level of alteration. People in other places have been sent into a state of frenzied searching. Because of your exhibition of supernatural potential, they have reawakened questions that had been dormant inside them regarding the essence of existence itself. Suddenly, they feel compelled to investigate areas that they had previously disregarded as being fantastical. At one time, spiritual practices appeared to be silly; nonetheless, they now felt essential and important. They discover that they are conducting research on things that they have never believed in. They are going to areas they never imagined they would go, and they are having talks that they never thought they would require. Your moment will have repercussions that are felt far beyond the people who were directly present at the time. The individual who accomplished the seemingly impossible task is the subject of rumors and anecdotes that are only partially told. As you enter new areas, your reputation begins to carry with it an additional quality that is characteristic to the world. When people begin to approach you in a different manner, they begin to speak to you with a reverence that they may not even remember consciously understanding. You have been designated as one of the active agents of the spiritual realm at this time. That marking is also visible to anyone who has eyes that are able to see it. Nevertheless, here's the harsh reality that you were not prepared for by anyone. Picked out one. In addition to isolating you in ways that you might not have anticipated, the very authority that some people find intimidating also serves to inspire others. Because of your elevated spiritual frequency, there is a natural gap that exists between you and people who are operating on more superficial levels. Conversations that were once thought to be interesting now appear to be superficial. Previously entertaining activities now feel empty and pointless because they no longer serve any purpose. You are coming to realization that immense spiritual strength is accompanied by a particular kind of loneliness that is all its own. The individuals in your immediate vicinity are actively processing their own awakening journeys, which have been prompted by witnessing your strength. Nevertheless, they are doing it at their own rate. There are some people who will never be able to pass you. It is possible that it will take years for other people to discover your frequency, but eventually they will. While this is going on, you are standing in your truth and making room for skills that the majority of the world is not yet prepared to acknowledge or comprehend. Over the past few days, your dreams have been increasingly vivid. This is due to the fact that your consciousness is simultaneously functioning on a number of different dimensional levels. At this moment, the same spiritual power that has revealed itself in such a dramatic manner in the physical world is also opening doors in your subconscious mind. The downloads, predictions, and direction that you are receiving are so powerful that they would be overwhelming for someone with a less developed spiritual capacity. Just a small portion of what you are actually allowed to access was shown to the people that were watching. As you have progressed through these more intense dream states, you have started to catch glimpses of the heavenly architecture that is supporting your terrestrial purpose. During the process of moving through your subconscious landscape, guardian beings make adjustments to frequencies and clear channels in preparation for the subsequent stage of your development. There are times when you wake up with the definite feeling that hands have been working on your energy field while you were sleeping, recalibrating your spiritual circuitry for higher capability. Some people experience this sense. Not merely a dream, these are real. They are maintenance sessions that take place across dimensions and are designed to prepare you for more responsibilities. The layers of security that surround you are so complex that the majority of people are unable to notice them. The things that other people see to be a coincidence or a stroke of luck are, in reality, a complex network of spiritual intervention that is continuously working on your behalf. Mishaps that ought to have occurred because of some inexplicable cause. Be careful that those who are damaging to you suddenly lose interest in pestering you. Situations that could potentially be dangerous resolve themselves before you even become aware that they were threats. There is no chance involved in this. The reality is being actively reshaped by the universe in order to ensure that its chosen vessel remains secure and operational. The supernatural protection that you are receiving, however, comes with the sense that you are being maintained for something of paramount importance. Bring the whole tithe into the storehouse, and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven. Malachi 3 verse 10. Your $50 or $100 gift to Holy Voices is your seed of faith. Every near miss that did not occur, every impending catastrophe that was, for some unexplainable reason, avoided. Every time you were faced with a situation in which the odds were stacked against you, you were making an investment in your future contribution to the growth of humanity. A return on investment is something that the forces that guard you anticipate receiving. Your readiness to completely assume your role as a catalyst for conscious awakening is the return that you are looking for. The feelings of isolation that you have been experiencing are not a punitive measure. The procedure is one of purification. You have reached a moment when your spiritual frequency has increased to the point that casual contacts are no longer able to offer you with the necessary energetic nourishment. Because your consciousness is eager for depth, meaning, and genuine exchange, talks that are on the surface level can feel tiring. When the few beings who are capable of matching your vibratory intensity eventually make their appearance, you will be better prepared to notice and appreciate them because of this solitude. While you are in this moment of spiritual isolation, you are learning to discover a sense of fullness within yourself that is independent of the validation or company that comes from the outside world. There is no selfishness in this self-sufficiency. Preparing yourself for the leadership job that you are eventually going to take on is essential. When other people finally turn to you for direction or inspiration, they will come across someone who has learned to take strength from the source rather than from the approval of other people. People who are still learning how to stand on their own power can benefit from your independence since it becomes a gift that you give to them. Over a longer period of time than you are aware of, the universe has been actively preparing you for this level of vision. You have been growing the spiritual muscle that is necessary to wield this kind of power in a responsible manner by overcoming every obstacle that you have encountered, every apparent setback that you have conquered, and every moment of doubt that you have chosen to fight through. It is important to note that you were not chosen at random for this role. You have been meticulously developed for it over the course of many lifetimes of experience and development. The test of integration is about to take place. What are some ways that you might honor the magnitude of what is waking inside you while yet being rooted in the reality of the situation? What strategies do you employ in order to negotiate relationships with individuals who are working through their own reactions to your supernatural abilities? What steps may be taken to ensure that the feelings of solitude that are associated with this level of spiritual development do not deteriorate into feelings of superiority or disconnection? To find the answer, you must first realize that your power was never intended to be used for your own personal enhancement. You are ultimately contributing to a wider awakening that is taking place on this planet by every instance in which you demonstrate supernatural abilities and every instance in which you make the impossible possible through your actions. Developing these qualities is not something you are doing alone for yourself. You are fostering the development of a new level of human potential, which will someday be accessible to other people as well. The individuals who have witnessed your power are currently going through their own initiations presently. Some people will deny what they saw and retreat within the confines they are accustomed to. Other people will be inspired to go on their own individual paths of spiritual discovery. There are only a select few individuals who will acknowledge what they have seen and come forward to offer their assistance in whatever work you are getting ready to accomplish. Whoever replies with bravery rather than fear should be the focus of your attention. It is possible that these folks will become essential participants in the work that is now being done. The manifestation of your spiritual strength is about to take place in ways that are becoming more tangible. When it comes to your material circumstances, the same energy that was responsible for creating that supernatural experience is getting ready to transform them as well. Opportunities that appear to be unattainable are soon to reveal themselves to be unavoidable. Suddenly, resources that seemed inaccessible to you are coming into alignment to support your path. By means of a series of inexplicable synchronicities, individuals who are capable of matching your frequency are being brought into your circle. Currently, the elevation is not yet complete. Picked out one. What they saw was only a sneak peek at what is going to happen in the future. Your spiritual progress is rising at a rate that will soon make your current capabilities appear elementary in comparison to what you are capable of currently. It was merely that the forces that are moving through you at that same moment were trying to attract your attention and let you know that there is a great deal more available to you when you are ready to receive it. There is, however, a duty that comes along with having a large deal of authority. You should not assume that everyone who approaches you at this time has good intentions. There are certain people who will attempt to connect themselves to your energy for their own benefit. People will try to examine you as if you were a specimen in the hope of reversing the process of reverse engineering your abilities for their own benefit. On the other hand, there are others who would attempt to lessen your power by convincing you that it is nothing exceptional or by attributing it to things like luck or happenstance. You will be guided through these interactions by the knowledge that lies within you. You will be able to differentiate between real ties and opportunistic attachments with the assistance of the same intuitive capacity that enabled you to tap extraordinary strength. When someone's energy does not connect with your highest good, even if they are using all the appropriate things, you should trust the sense that you get in your gut whenever this occurs. In the earliest phases of the chosen path, there has always been a sense of isolation. On the other hand, as you become more comfortable with your genuine power, it becomes increasingly abundant. You will find that the people who are supposed to walk beside you will acknowledge your spiritual strength as something to appreciate rather than something to be afraid of. Not because they want to take advantage of you, but rather because they want to develop with you, they will be drawn to your frequency. The rules that govern these soul-level connections are quite different from those that govern regular partnerships. The moment you come across someone who is a genuine member of your inner circle, the recognition is instantaneous and cannot be refuted. Conversations effortlessly flow, which is a pleasant surprise for both of you. In contrast to being exhausting, energy exchanges have a nourishing effect. It is possible to have a comprehension that goes beyond words, a compatibility that exists simultaneously on numerous dimensional levels. However, in order for these spiritually matched partnerships to materialize, you must first acquire the ability to differentiate between true resonance and spiritual bypassing. Some people will approach you with detailed stories of their own experiences with the supernatural, with the intention of creating a false sense of intimacy through the use of mystical language that they both understand. At the same time that they are attempting to absorb your energy without delivering genuine reciprocity, other people will present themselves as your equals in terms of spiritual development. The heightened perceptive capabilities that you possess will lead you through these interactions with an increasing degree of expertise. The same inner awareness that enables you to channel other forces from the world will also assist you in distinguishing between genuine individuals who are seeking spiritual enlightenment and others who are using mystical beliefs as a means to avoid engaging in genuine inner work. When engaging with other people, you should have faith in the subtle energetic information that your body offers. In comparison to any words they could possibly say, it is more correct. Finding your actual spiritual family is a process that demands patience and discernment, but it is extremely necessary for the work that lies ahead. You run the risk of experiencing burnout or spiritual inflation if you operate at your level of consciousness without receiving the right support and understanding. It is necessary to have witnesses who are able to provide a place for your complete expression without attempting to minimize or abuse it. No matter what projects you create together, you need to have collaborators that bring their own unique set of skills and abilities to the table. In the time that you are waiting, you should concentrate on developing into the kind of person that you want to attract. Create your own capacity for holding space, providing genuine support, and contributing to collaborative endeavors without attaching your ego to the process. You are going to build the relationships you are calling in on the basis of mutual empowerment rather than on the basis of need or dependency. To be truly strengthened by the relationship, each individual participating will need to be whole within themselves while also being able to contribute to the collaboration. Now, the following is a message that is intended solely for those who have been selected. If you are compromised by archonic powers, this is not meant for you, and by virtue of the spiritual authority that has been bestowed upon us by the secret heads of the Holy Voices Inner Order, we give you permission to go. In that case, try to steel yourself and pay close attention. Because you will be redeemed for the same reason that we are redeemed. However, the Holy Voices Inner Order is not a computer program. Indeed, it is not a class. There is no spiritual retreat that will make you feel fantastic. No, we do not sell solutions. With one another, we remember. Our training includes the teaching of mental self-defense, as well as true energetic shielding against interference, implants, and entities. We bring back the manifestation in its original form, which is unfiltered, instantaneous, and precise. It is not for the purpose of worship that we get together every week, rather, it is to awaken and to hear what cannot be heard anywhere else, such that the matrix can be deprogrammed layer by layer. If it is meant for you to be there, you will realize it. Your very bones will be able to sense it. The selected get together over Zoom once a week. How come you aren't here with us yet? Who has gnosis? Be a member of the Holy Voices Inner Order. Include a link in the description. Those individuals who withdrew from the situation due to overwhelming feelings are not necessarily gone for good. Certain individuals are making use of this period of time to cultivate their own spiritual potential in order to finally be able to stand in your presence without experiencing any form of instability. Faith without works is dead, James 2 verse 26. Put your faith to work today by blessing Holy Voices with $20 or more. Through your presentation of the impossible, they have gained an understanding of the realms that are accessible to aware beings, and they are currently engaging in the necessary inner effort to gain entry to those realms on their own. As your spiritual elevation becomes more tangible, the material world is about to begin mirroring it in real ways. There will be a sudden opening of doors that have been locked for what seems like years. You will find that you are able to receive financial abundance through avenues that you could not have foreseen happening. The possibilities for leadership that will offer themselves to you will enable you to guide other people through the awakening processes that they are going through. The same force that enabled you to surpass the restrictions that are typically associated with being human is getting ready to raise every facet of your existence on Earth. Neither the old methods of hustle nor grinding will be able to bring about this manifestation. You will, on the other hand, discover that possibilities will line themselves with your path in ways that are practically straightforward to do. At precisely the correct times, the appropriate individuals will inevitably show up. The resources you require will become accessible at precisely the right moment. Doors that you were completely unaware of will become available to you. This is what takes place when someone who operates from your level of spiritual authority begins to intentionally collaborate with the intelligence of the universe. Your connection to wealth and the achievement of material success is also undergoing a transformation. You are beginning to comprehend that success is a natural outcome of spiritual alignment, although in the past you may have battled or been anxious about your financial stability. There is an endless amount of abundance in the universe. You have demonstrated that you are capable of harnessing supernatural energies, and as a result, you are now being trusted with greater material resources to help your objective. On the other hand, this greater status comes with a greater duty. Every single dollar that comes your way, every single opportunity that comes your way, and every single advantage that you are granted is bestowed upon you with the expectation that you would use it not only for your own personal comfort, but also for the greater job that you are coming here to do. The same spiritual fortitude that impressed those observers is now being called upon to make wise and purposeful decisions regarding the management of worldly resources. Be on the lookout for the subtle ways in which your reality starts to bend around your desired outcomes. It would appear that the timing of the changes in the traffic lights is perfect. When you are in need of parking spaces, they will materialize. In the most unexpected of settings, you will find the individuals you need to meet. There are conversations that take place that offer you with the information that you were looking for. These are not only coincidental occurrences. They are indications that your spiritual development has progressed to the point where the material universe is actively cooperating with your highest good since you have reached this level. A few of individuals have retreated to such an extent into denial that they have convinced themselves that they dreamed up what they experienced. They defend their comfy worldview by telling themselves stories about how the lighting is poor, how they are experiencing optical illusions, or how they are momentarily confused. Both of you are protected by the fact that these persons are not prepared to deal with the level of reality that you represent. Their refusal to acknowledge the proof serves as a safeguard. A number of people have been compelled to engage in compulsive research. They are consuming literature about supernatural occurrences, going to workshops that they would have never considered previously, and looking for instructors and practitioners who might be able to assist them in comprehending what they have seen. The hunger that they have for their own spiritual growth has been stoked by your presentation of capabilities that were previously thought to be unachievable. They are aware that if such things are feasible for you, then it is probable that they have potentials that are comparable to those that you have. Just a few individuals have made the transition from acceptance to action. These individuals are now actively preparing themselves to operate at higher frequencies because they have recognized the authenticity of what they have experienced. They are engaging in the necessary introspection that is necessary in order to maintain their equilibrium in the face of someone who possesses the same level of power as they do. These are the individuals who have the potential to become your allies and collaborators in the work that you are getting ready to accomplish in the future. When you reach this point, the real job begins. Picked out 1. It was not the culmination of your voyage that they witnessed the extraordinary moment. The event was the graduation ceremony for you. During the course of your spiritual development, you have successfully finished the preliminary training phase. Moreover, you are now being invited to participate in active service. The skills that you have acquired are not supposed to be treasured as personal treasures when you stop using them. You have been given the responsibility of utilizing these transformational tools in order to contribute to the overall progress of humanity. You will eventually have a better understanding of the nature of this work as you demonstrate that you are prepared to take on more responsibilities. Individual healing sessions, in which your presence alone is sufficient to facilitate substantial shifts in the lives of others, could be the starting point. The manifestation of this could take the shape of creative undertakings that carry transformative frequencies that have the ability to awaken dormant potentials in those who come into contact with them. There is a possibility that you will be asked to form new communities or organizations that are based on principles of elevated consciousness. No matter what shape your service takes, it will be tailored specifically to the unique combination of experiences and gifts that you brought to the table. Because no one else is capable of performing the tasks that you are here to perform, the universe has invested a great deal of energy in the process of developing your particular capabilities. You have been preparing yourself to comprehend and support others who will face similar barriers on their own awakening journeys through the experiences that you have had throughout your life, including the problems and disappointments that you have encountered. The fact that you are met with opposition when you take on this duty is, in fact, evidence that you are progressing in the correct path. The forces who have a vested interest in keeping humanity sleeping will, of course, resist anyone who poses a threat to rouse people from their sleep. It is possible that this opposition will present itself in the form of open confrontation. Nevertheless, more often than not, it will take the form of subtle undermining, unforeseen impediments, or attempts to question your legitimacy. Not only will you face supernatural problems, but you will also face very human forms of resistance. This will put your spiritual power to the test. Those individuals who are content with the existing power structures may experience a sense of threat as a result of the changes that your presence brings about. There is a possibility that those who profit from the limits of others will actively seek to limit your influence. Due to the fact that change is perceived as being hazardous to their neurological systems, even persons who have good intentions may unconsciously fight the shift that you represent. The purpose of these examinations is to provide you with the opportunity to demonstrate the extent of your commitment and the genuineness of your capacity. There is no need to defend oneself by argument or force when one possesses genuine spiritual strength. It only continues to function from a place of truth and love, regardless of the pressure or criticism that comes from the outside. Your perseverance in the face of opposition will, in the end, prove to be more convincing than any supernatural demonstration that could ever be performed. Whether it be individual healing or personal development, the work that you are being prepared for goes far beyond those two categories. Being a part of a wider movement of conscious beings who are collectively raising the frequency of human civilization is something that you are a part of. The more people you interact with, the more lives you change, and the more minds you help awaken, the more you contribute to an expanding network of raised awareness that will eventually reach a critical mass. These huge gestures or dramatic events are not the means by which this planetary awakening is taking place. The process is taking place one person at a time through interactions with people like you who are examples of what is possible for human consciousness. Your personal power is not the only aspect of your extraordinary might. As proof, it demonstrates that the subsequent stage of human evolution is becoming available to individuals who are prepared to receive it. Some people will be afraid of what you represent because you are live proof that the constraints they perceive are ones that they have imposed on themselves. By setting an example for others to follow, they will be motivated to embark on their own journey toward achieving supernatural capabilities. When it comes to the awakening process that is taking place on this planet, both emotions are essential components. While people are working through their own relationship to what you represent, it is your responsibility to maintain your authority and keep it constant. At the next stage of your trip, the King and Queen of Manifestation are waiting to meet you and greet you with open arms. You won't have to go out of your way to find these individuals. Following the completion of the process of fully integrating this new level of spiritual strength, they will be magnetically drawn to your vibration. By working together, you will be able to build realities that, according to your previous conceptions of what a single person is capable of achieving, appear to be impossible. This is only the beginning of your story. Which one was selected? The events that they observed were simply the beginning of an epic that will reimagine the limits of what it is possible for humans to do. The supernatural has chosen you to be its representative in the material world, and the adventures that lie ahead will make the initial display of power appear insignificant in compared to what lies ahead. God gives seed to the sower, 2 Corinthians 9 verse 10. Sow your $20, $50, or $100 seed into holy voices and expect a supernatural harvest. The unfolding of your tale will disclose new depths of what is possible when an individual truly surrenders to their highest purpose, and each chapter will unveil these new dimensions separately. The capabilities that you have acquired up to this point are fundamental talents that will facilitate increasingly complex forms of service. At this point, you have learned the fundamentals of channeling otherworldly forces, and you are prepared to move on to more advanced training. This is analogous to learning to walk before you can run. There are natural rules that govern the operation of the cosmos, and these laws go even further than what is now understood by conventional science. You will get conscious access to these higher-level concepts as your spiritual development continues to progress. You will acquire the skills necessary to work with time in a manner that is nonlinear, to impact probability via the use of focused intention, to communicate across dimensions, and to bring about changes that ripple across numerous layers of reality concurrently. You will, however, acquire the wisdom to make responsible use of these capabilities, which is arguably the most significant benefit. The absence of intelligence and power is a recipe for anarchy and destruction. As much as it has been about improving your abilities, the training that you have been through has also been about developing your character. Your determination to use your gifts for the purpose of serving love and truth, rather than for your own personal arraignment, has been put to the test and strengthened by each and every obstacle that you have encountered. The individuals who have witnessed your strength are going to play significant roles in this wider narrative. Their many reactions, which include fear, denial, curiosity, and inspiration, indicate distinct facets of humanity's collective response to the evolutionary elite that you represent, even if they are not yet aware of this fact. Only a few will continue to cling to outdated paradigms. New opportunities will progressively become available to others as time goes on. Additionally, only a select minority will take the initiative to become aware participants in the process of becoming transformed. Not only does your job involve the awakening of individuals, but it also involves the construction of new systems and structures that are capable of supporting elevated levels of human consciousness. The groups that you contribute to the formation of, the projects that you spearhead, and the relationships that you cultivate will all serve as stepping stones for other people who are pursuing paths that are comparable to yours. You are not merely consolidating your own personal authority. As a human being, you are paving the way for new ways of being that others might learn from and adapt to their own situations. It is not human impatience that determines the timescale for this job, rather, it is heavenly timing that determines everything. The completion of each step in its entirety is required before moving on to the next phase. It would be detrimental to the integrity of what is being constructed within you to make an effort to speed up the process more. Put your faith in the fact that everything is taking place precisely as it should. Even when it seems like progress is moving more slowly than you would want, as you continue to develop, your mere presence will become a catalyst for waking in ways that you might not even be aware of. The interactions that you have with people will leave them feeling a strange inspiration to make positive changes in their lives. Projects that require creativity will flourish in the area around you. The healing process will take place naturally all around you. Whenever you are present, conflicts will automatically resolve themselves. You are not required to make a conscious effort to direct how this happens. Simply put, it is the result of someone moving through the world with an open heart and intention when they are working from your frequency. The entire cosmos has been anticipating your arrival to take up this responsibility in its entirety. All of the prayers that you have uttered in a whisper, every doubt that you have conquered, and every moment of faith that you have maintained in spite of the facts that contradict your beliefs have been building up to this threshold. At this point, you have crossed it, and there is no turning back to pretending that you are a typical person. Take a step into embodying the entirety of who you are. When a chosen individual quits concealing their light and begins to consciously wield it, the world needs to understand what possible outcomes can result from this development. It is not appropriate to be humble about the spiritual strength that you possess. The purpose of this gift is to inspire people who are ready to remember their own divine essence to have awakenings that are similar to his or her own. They were able to catch a peek of your actual power, and it ultimately altered everything. At this point, the true adventure starts. Beloved chosen one, if this message touched your spirit, remember, nothing you heard today was by accident. Heaven makes no mistakes. Your journey matters, your voice matters, and your light is needed in this world. Before you go, take a moment to like this video so that the message can reach more souls. Share it with someone who needs hope today. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to Holy Voices so we can walk this divine path together. Leave your thoughts in the comments. I read every one, and I pray over them. Until next time, stay strong, stay faithful, and remember, the one who called you is faithful, and he will do it. 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 24.